Hey, it's Dylan Ratcliffe, the founder and CEO of Overmind. I'm going to run you through a quick demo of our predictive root cause analysis product for Terraform. I'm going to jump straight into it here into our Terraform repository, and I'm going to make a change to an ECS task. Here I'm going to change the port that the task uses for its internal health checks. And I'm going to commit this change and open a pull request. Now, so far this has been a pretty normal workflow, and for most of our users, this is how they make changes to their Terraform code. Somebody will make a change, they will create a pull request, and then somebody else will come in and review it. The problem is that you don't have a lot to go on when you're doing this review. You can look at the change, we can see that we have changed the port, that's pretty much expected. And you can look at the output of Terraform plan, but it doesn't give you any additional context that you need to work out whether or not this change is actually a good idea, whether it's going to break anything. And so this is where Overmind comes in. So this is running Terraform plan at the moment. We'll be able to see in a second what that looks like. It's then going to submit this to Overmind, and Overmind is going to calculate the blast radius, which is everything in your infrastructure that might be affected, and then the risks that are specific to this change. So we can see here we've got the Terraform plan. It's telling us that it's going to change the port. There's also a bit of noise in here. This is sort of typical for a Terraform plan. But it doesn't tell us anything else that's useful. And we would have to use our experience and tribal knowledge to decide whether or not this is a good idea. However, with Overmind, we have submitted the plan to Overmind. It's still doing its investigation, but I can just open up Overmind anyway while we wait and have a look at the blast radius. So you usually wouldn't look straight into here, and you would wait for the risk analysis, but while it computes, I'm just going to show you what Overmind has discovered using read-only access to your AWS while we wait. So we have here the change. The container is changing from this health check on 1234 to 8080. But Overmind has discovered a lot of other stuff in here. It's found that there's an ECS service that's currently running, a task. That task has an IP address, which is referenced by a health check, which is part of a target group, which is part of a load balancer. And so there's quite a lot of context that you would need to take into account in order to review this change that Overmind has then gone and found. But rather than you having to look at all of this, instead, we have analyzed all of this using AI to work out what the risk is. And we can see it's come up with an answer here. So the proposed change to the ECS task definition for the facial recognition Terraform example service has altered its health check port. However, the container's port mapping still indicates port 1234. This could lead to health checks failing as they'll try and reach the service on 8080, marking them as unhealthy. This could cause unnecessary task replacements and affect the availability negatively. The LBV2 target group and service mappings are also configured to route traffic to 1234, which suggests the service should continue using this port. So here it's referring to the load balancer, and we can see the load balancer target group is indeed health checking on port 1234 and sending traffic to port 1234. So that discrepancy means that this doesn't really make a lot of sense. You would expect either both to be changed or neither. But we never would have been able to realize there was a discrepancy without finding all of the relevant information and then analyzing it automatically, and then finding this risk that is entirely specific to your infrastructure and this change that you're making right now. You also don't have to dive into Overmind to do this. If I go back to my pull request, I can go back here, and you can see that Overmind has actually dropped this as a comment on the pull request. So in your normal review process, you don't even have to go into Overmind if you don't want to. We drop this comment straight here. And so you can use this to evaluate whether or not this should be merged. If you do merge it, Overmind will track the changes to make sure that nothing else unexpected happens by taking a snapshot before and after. And then you have a full record of every change you've made and what actually happened. Thanks.